Hey guys, Andy Fogarty here from the AtHomeWelder.com, and I'm here for KingMetals.com. And today we're answering a question about welding to prefabricated fencing panels like this one. Now Henrik emailed us in and asked, can I weld to the prefabricated fencing that you talked about from King? Of course you can. Really, all you need to do is just everything is powder coated, which is nice for durability and long-lasting finish, but it's terrible to weld on. Now we've covered why in other videos. You want to make sure you go check those out as to why you can't weld on painted surfaces. But really all you're going to do is just take your angle grinder and grind any areas that you are going to be welding around. Now that said, one thing you need to know about these powder coated surfaces, and the same with painted, but definitely so with this powder coated surface, is the heat is going to start to bubble up everything around it. So what I do is I actually remove the powder coated surface from a lot more than the area that I'm just going to weld, because I'm gonna have to go back and clean that anyway, because if I just remove a little bit around where I'm gonna weld, then the heat from the weld and expanding through the metal is going to mess up the surface, and you're going to end up cleaning it anyway. And naturally, once you weld these things together, you're going to need a paint that actually matches. Now, fortunately, King actually sells a can of spray paint that matches the finish of their prefabricated fencing panels perfectly. So I highly suggest that you just go there and order that can of paint. One thing to consider about when you start to weld to these prefabricated fencing panels, it is going to void the warranty. Now, before you freak out and you think, oh no, I'm voiding the warranty, you got to take a look at what the warranty actually covers, and if you're even really concerned about the warranty to begin with. I like to use the warranty as a selling point when I'm talking to my client. So anytime that I am aware that I am going to be having to weld at any point on any of these panels, you do need to be very upfront with your client and say, hey, this is going to void the warranty, do you care? They want the fencing because it is a lot less expensive than me building an entire fence from scratch. But they want it to stand out. They want it to look a little bit nicer. So we throw in some extras, and we end up welding some castings and things like that on some of these designs. Now, to get away from welding, you can just go to KingMetals.com, check out the accessories that they have, little add-ons that you can just bolt right onto these. But if you want anything really cool looking like castings or anything like that, then you're gonna have to do some welding. Now, one thing you need to be aware of is this is not the thickest of metals. So if you're going to be welding on different kind of hinges and things like that, specifically hinges and gate hardware, because gates are going to be used a lot, and they're going to have a lot of stress, especially on, say, driveway gates, where they're going to be used daily, multiple times a day. You're going to need to reinforce the material that you're welding on. We learned this the hard way by simply just welding straight to the material, not thinking anything about it. And then we're called back out there 6 months later to make a repair, because not because the weld broke, but because the material itself broke away. So if you're going to be welding any kind of big hinges or anything like that onto this, go ahead and reinforce it. Maybe weld some extra flat bar on there or something like that. So that's it, Henrik. I hope that answers your question. And if you're asking this question, that means you're doing some pretty cool stuff with some prefab. And I would love to see what it is that you're building. So go ahead and send us some pictures if you can. And anybody else out there, let's see your cool stuff. So that's it. I'm Andy Fogarty from the AtHomeWelder.com. And look, if you want more great tips like this, go ahead, come over to the AtHomeWelder.com, sign up, join the community. We're gonna send you weekly tips and tricks that you should know as a DIY welder. So that's it. I will see you again next time.